İlk konuşmacımızla başlamak istiyorum. Dediğim gibi bugün robotik ve otomasyon konuşacağız ve ilk konuşmacımız da InPipe Robot'un kurucusu ve CEO'su Artur Kolesnikov. Artur'un şirketi robotları kullanarak boru hatlarının güvenliğini sağlıyor. Artur, welcome to Istanbul Tech Week.
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Thank you very much for your contribution in advance, and we're looking forward to hearing how you're helping to make pipelines safer. The floor is yours.
Thanks. So then let me share my screen. That will be the whole screen. Yeah, so my name is Artur. I'm CEO and founder of InPipe Robot. We provide robotic pipeline inspection. A few words about myself. So before this startup, before this company, I was a part of a race team. We developed a race car for the international race competition. I also had experience with developing of a stratosphere balloon, unmanned aerial vehicle, and some more projects. About InPipe Robot. We are the US startup. Right now, we are focused on the water and wastewater pipelines, also on the energy sector. By energy, I mean thermal generation and renewable energy. And right now, we are in the commercialization stage. So basically, we are providing pilots and are ready to sign full-scale contracts with our clients. Let's now talk why the pipeline inspection is important. If we speak about water industry, it is 100-year-old infrastructure, and there is a lot of breaks, sinkholes, etc. in the pipes. For instance, if we speak about the United States, there is more than 20 breaks that happen every day, and each of them costs more than $2 million. If we speak about energy industry, the companies have zero emergency policy because each emergency in an energy pipeline can cost $2 million a day. So this is very expensive problem. And right now companies are trying, depending on the industry, are trying to solve it by the following techniques: pigging, manual sensors, drones, push cameras, or hydro testing. But all of these techniques have their own limitations. Like for manual sensors, for manual inspection, it takes a lot of time to prepare a pipeline. You have to remove insulation, you have to excavate a pipeline or create scaffolds to reach some difficult places. For drones, it is problematic to see anything outside your visual scope. For push cameras, you have a lot of limitations from the perspective of accessing the pipeline, and so on. And another challenges in the pipelines can be the following. So the main thing is that all these pipelines were built, let's say, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, etc. And because of that, all this infrastructure is almost not prepared for the pipeline inspection, or it will be very complicated. And that's why we came up with our solution with InPipe Robot. So our technology is very firstly maneuverable. We can inspect very complex shaped pipelines with vertical sections, T-branches, 90-degree turns, and multiple diameters. We can adjust to different pipes in real time. Right now, we provide let's say different functions like mapping of a pipeline. We can create a track of a robot. And let me show you actually our demo. I think it will be easier for you to understand how it works. Yeah, so this is a view from a camera in the robot. Here you can see the first 90-degree turn, and then it will be the second one. After that, the robot goes straight, then it turns another 90-degree turn, and even a vertical section. So we don't have any problem with complexity of a pipeline. We can inspect all of it. Right now, in real time, you can see how we collect and process different data from our sensors and cameras. By sensors, I mean lasers, different depth sensors, etc. And we create basically digital twin and traction of the robot. And in the end, we can deliver to our clients, let me show it to you, this kind of 3D chart. This is one of the representations of data for the companies. And on this 3D chart, we can easily highlight dangerous and potentially dangerous places. So basically, a company can make a decision when and where they need to replace a pipe. And the whole process looks like this. So firstly, we have to insert the robot in the pipe. Then the inspection takes place. So it is about 6 hours per mile or 4 hours per kilometer. And after that, or in real time, depends on the customer, we process the results. And one of the main values here is that we can deliver the report within just 4 hours after the inspection. So we can deliver the data within the same day of the inspection. And by that, we reduce a lot of time for the clients for, again, making the decision. On this chart, on this table, you can see the, let's say, overall comparative analysis, at least how we at our company see why robotic solutions, why in-pipe robot makes sense for the industry. I mentioned some of these, like report preparation time, so we can make it fast, like accessibility to a pipeline, so we almost don't have any limitations. We almost don't need any preparations. Maybe the only one limitation that we have is that right now the pipeline is supposed to be shut down. This is the most say challenging point right now for us. But for the future, we want to overcome this obstacle as well. And maybe another one limitation for us is diameters, because obviously, as you make robot and when you insert it inside the pipeline, you cannot make it very small, and that's why we have this limitation. But anyway, we can inspect pipelines starting from 250 millimeters and without any upper limitation at all, almost. Let's say, so our upper limitation is like more than 1,000 millimeters, and based on that, we can cover most of the pipes. And why does it make sense from the money and time perspective? You can see here overall analysis. Right now, clients spend more than 10 days for the preparations, and the inspection itself takes only 1 to 2 days. And based on that, we can tell clients that they don't need to spend a lot of time. They don't need to spend a lot of money for the preparations. We can make it way faster and way cheaper, because preparations makes the, let's say, 10 days of preparations can cost $1 million. Meanwhile, 1 to 2 days of inspection can cost like $10,000 of dollars. It's more than 100 times cheaper. And also we reduce emergency risks. As far as I told you that we are a US-based, US-focused startup, I can tell you rough statistic, at least for the US market. So this industry for the pipeline inspection from robotic solutions, etc., grows very rapidly, between 17 to 21%. There is huge amount of pipelines also in Europe, in Turkey, in Russia, in Canada, in Australia. This is a global problem. So if you have this idea, if you think that it is great, don't worry about it. You will find your application for your idea and technology all over the world. And right now, this is how our robot looks like. Right now, so far, we performed 4 use cases in different pipelines, in hospital, in highway, power stations, etc. And it was very interesting. So the diameters you can see here, it was a real-time adjustment for multiple diameters when we speak about power station and highway. And let's see, the technology performed really well. We saved our clients for the power station. We saved $300,000 for the preparation because we didn't, because the client didn't have to make it. So huge savings from this pipeline inspection. And I hope that in the future we will make more and more such use cases and save more and more money for our clients finding critical problems in the critical infrastructure. But as I said, it's not only for water, wastewater, or power energy. You can also find a lot of applications in food and beverage, petrochemical, oil and gas, and even mining sectors, because the pipelines are everywhere. And that's why I believe that almost with any idea in the pipeline inspection, you can find your particular place if you think that this industry is interested. Also, for those who are startups and for those who want to find their path, I encourage you to apply for different accelerators. For instance, we passed through Alchemist, and it was a great experience. So don't worry about that. This is really great place to start. So thank you. I hope it was interesting, ready to answer your questions.
Arthur, thank you so much. Before leaving you, I do have a couple of questions. So one is, I'm assuming that your business model is a B2G, G as in government business model. Is that correct?
Not completely. Right now, we start from investor-owned companies, so B2B. Because we understand that B2G will be a bit complicated for the young startup, and that's why we start from B2B, but later we will also focus more and more on B2G.
So for example, your companies are big corporations
correct,
who want to see transparency in their pipes?
Yes, correct, because right now for the companies, they don't even know any data about their pipelines. They just know that they have pipelines, but what happens exactly with them, they don't know.
Okay. Do you, I'm just out of curiosity, do you see a point where this could also be a B2C business model where, you know, me as a consumer, I want to see what's going through the pipe that's coming through, you know, my town?
I think it might be possible, yeah. By the way, maybe it's a very interesting opportunity for data sharing. So let's say if we gather more and more data, then upload it somewhere to the cloud, to the platform, and you as a user can look for this data and make some actions like call your plumber, something like that. I think, by the way, very interesting idea.
Also, one more question that came from one of the listeners. How are you planning to grow your startup, as in which industries, with what products? Could this product be applied elsewhere?
Yeah, so the potential for this product is very huge, but right now we need to be focused, and right now we are mostly focused on the water and wastewater industry. Plus, we have some connections, as you can see here, with power generation sector. Yeah, so starting from these industries, we can then scale our technology to other, like thermal, then gas, then oil, so something like that.
Okay. One more question from our listeners. What challenges do you see in this industry mainly? You can give us a couple.
I think that the main business challenge is that typically the sales cycle is not that fast. Typically the companies are conservative, and I think that this is the main challenge for the business growth. Yeah, but anyway, we have to overcome it somehow, so we have to deal with that.
Okay. Okay, and one more question. I'm looking at the questions at the same time. One of the listeners asked, how can you calibrate in-pipe robot?
How can we determine brakes?
Yeah, I guess. If you can go
Yeah,
over
okay,
that
so
really quickly.
yeah, so right now, so as far as we scan the surface of a pipeline by different sensors, camera, laser, depth sensors, etc., we can, let's say, see if there is a metal loss. And based on that, if there is, so it depends. This is actually a very good question because it depends on the size of a crack. If a crack is visible for the sensors, then we can scan it and see that there is no metal. But if a crack is too small, then we will not find it. We will not identify it as a crack. But for that, we are right now in the R&D process for our second module for this robot to make thickness measurements and also to identify thickness of the pipeline.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Arthur, and best of luck with everything you do. It's certainly very exciting. Thank you for joining Istanbul Tech Week.
Thank you. Thank you. So have a good day.